What if the richest investor in the world told you the secret was boredom at thrills? Not hot tips, but boredom, powered by discipline, so sharp it could cut through panic. The stock market, Warren Buffett says, is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Tonight, follow the boy from Omaha who turned patience into power and power into principles you can actually use. Omaha, Nebraska, a paper route before sunrise. A teenager with a ledger, counting pennies like a jeweler, studies diamonds. At 11, he buys his first Stock Cities service. It drops. Fear whispers. Sell, he does. For a tiny profit. Then he watches it rocket higher without him. The pain is educational. The lesson arrives early. Don't be right quickly. Be right eventually. Years later, a different classroom, a different voice. Benjamin Graham. Graham doesn't sell dreams. He sells discipline, margin of safety. Mr. Market, price versus value. Buffett consumes it. Not like a student cramming for a test, but like a craftsman sharpening a lifelong tool. He works at Graham Newman, sees value investing in the wild, then heads back to Omaha to launch a small partnership with friends and family. No dazzle, just letters, rules, and relentless math. Year by year, he outperforms, not by predicting miracles, but by refusing to pretend he can. He doesn't chase, he waits. Waiting becomes a superpower. Then comes a dying textile mill, Berkshire Hathaway. Most people see rust and declining margins. Buffett sees a vessel, a corporate shell he can redirect. He stops fighting the tide in textiles and starts buying businesses, not tickers. Insurance, utilities, candy, newspapers. Brands with character and moats with teeth. It isn't glamorous, it's plumbing for compounding, and compounding loves time more than it loves talent. In 1972, he meets See's Candies and has a revelation. See's isn't the cheapest company, but it owns something invisible and priceless. Customer devotion. Every holiday, people don't just buy candy, they buy See's. Devotion becomes pricing power. Pricing power becomes high returns on capital. The portfolio tilts. Fewer so-so bargains, more wonderful businesses at fair prices. The man famous for value now values quality like oxygen. Next come moments that look like luck to outsiders and like logic to Buffett. A bear market makes strong businesses look weak. He buys the Washington Post at a fraction of its worth. He leans into GEICO when it's troubled because he understands the engine beneath the hood. Low-cost underwriting, direct marketing, a brand that scales. By 1988, he loads up on Coca-Cola not because it's fashionable, but because billions already drink it and the brand lives rent-free in their minds. This is the pattern. Understand the core engine, don't overpay, then hold while compounding does the heavy lifting. Character gets its crucible in 1991. Salomon Brothers is on the brink after a treasury bidding scandal. Buffett steps in to lead and to testify. He gives his managers a line that will outlive him. Lose money for the firm, and I will be understanding. Lose a shred of reputation, and I will be ruthless. In a world that worships cleverness, he elevates character. Because character lowers costs you'll never see on a spreadsheet. Fines, turnover, distrust. Reputation is the ultimate compounder. Protect it like your life depends on it, because your life's work does. Then, the great storm. 2008, the financial system trembles. Liquidity vanishes. Fear is the only thing compounding. Buffett repeats the line everyone remembers, but few can live. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. He acts in terms that protect Berkshire, taking preferred stakes with fat dividends and warrants. He doesn't predict the day the storm ends. He prices the risk of getting rained on and brings an umbrella labeled float. Float is the quiet drumbeat under the Berkshire Symphony. Insurance takes in premiums today for claims paid tomorrow. If you underwrite well, That float costs little or nothing and can be invested. Meanwhile, it isn't magic. It's a time machine, rented cheaply. While others chase speed, he buys time. By now, the myth is set. Buffett the oracle, but the real edge isn't prophecy, it's temperament. He reads for Rs annual reports, 1OK's shareholder letters. He avoids flashing screens in favor of boringly beautiful math. He stays inside his circle of competence. If he can't explain a business simply, he doesn't buy it. Ambiguity isn't an invitation, it's an exit sign, and he keeps a 20-slot punch card metaphor. Imagine you could only make 20 investments in your life. You'd study harder, wait longer, and swing bigger when conviction finally arrived. You can measure wealth by zeros or by control over your calendar. Buffett chose the latter. He still lives in Omaha, still carves out long, uninterrupted hours to think. He designed a life where noise can find him, easily where he can think slow, in a world that punishes slowness with FOMO compounding. He reminds us, works for money and for habits. Good habits compound into freedom. Bad habits compound into regret. Beside him stands Charlie Munger, acid wit, razor logic, and the demand to invert. Together, they built a culture that honors not knowing as much as knowing, and saying no more than yes. A partnership like that doesn't add, it multiplies. Ideas collide, egos shrink, decisions improve. Another kind of compounding intellectual does its quiet work. And when you've won the game this completely, what then? Buffett chooses to give most of it away year after year, turning compounded dollars into compounded impact. Money is a claim on people's time, he says. Use your claims wisely. That's the final inversion. Wealth as a means, not the meaning. So, what do you do with a story like this? You distill it into rules you can live by. Rule 1. Be patiently aggressive. Wait for fat pitches. When they come, swing big. Rule 2. Know your circle. If you can't diagram how the company makes money on a napkin, pass. Rule 3. Protect the moat and your own reputation. They both take years to build and minutes to lose. Rule 4. Price. Then decide. Don't predict the future. Price risk, price quality, price time. Rule 5. Let compounding do the work. Activity feels like progress. Results come from duration. The world will keep offering shortcuts, noise, dressed as knowledge, urgency, dressed as opportunity. Buffett's answer is a quiet storm. Reading, thinking, waiting, acting with simple rules that don't expire. He didn't win by outguessing the crowd. He won by outlasting it. If this story lit a fuse for you, do one thing today. Pick a single rule and apply it to your portfolio, your career, or your calendar. Then join this community of patient outliers. Subscribe for more deep dive stories about mastering money and mindset. Like the video so this lesson reaches someone who needs it. Share it with a friend who texts you stock tips, and drop a comment with the words patient over perfect. Let compounding work for your money, your reputation, and your life.